So I'm just strolling right now. There's a path that leads to a park, and a lot of the scriptures are meant to be. Some of them are meant to be teachings, and some of them are glimpses of words that are kind of mysterious because they're not really clear. Some pronoun uses, such as he, or woman, or man, as you read in the Bible, are not clear what those references are. There's three that come to mind that use verses that are scattered about, and there's probably more than that connect with each other in meaning. And the one I'm thinking of in particular is the pronoun woman. And so there is I don't know if you know that in the first miracle, the wedding of Cana, Jesus refers to his mother Mary not as mother but as woman. And then there's another reference to woman in Genesis 3, several references to woman that I'd like to mention. And as well, there's a reference to woman in singular form, not women, woman, one woman, and in Revelations. So what I want to connect with, and this is something I was actually taught by a doctor in theology, what these three connections are, what it really refers to. And those three connections in those three books of the Bible refer to Mary. And some of you might say, well, it's just woman, it could be anything, right? Well, remember, Jesus deliberately called Mary, which is his mother, woman, deliberately, because he's foreshadowing what God has spoken, God has spoken in Genesis for the future. So it's foreshadowing of when Jesus would use the woman in the same reference. And also John, the prophet. John also had a revelation, and he also was told, and he saw the divine vision, and he was told to put down woman. So in John 2, it says, on the third day, when there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Now both Jesus and his disciples were invited to the wedding. And when they ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to his servants, "Whatever he says to you, do it." Now there were set 6 water pots of stone, according to purification of Jews, containing 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the water pots with water," and they filled them up to the brim. And then he performed his miracle. So the reference what I want to emphasize is, how come Jesus didn't say, "Mother, what does your concern have to do with me?" No, instead he said, "Woman." Why did he say woman? Well, according to theologians, which I've been educated upon, let's go back to Genesis 3, and you can find this. This is when Eve was tempted of Satan in the Garden of Eden. She ate the the apple she wasn't supposed to, the tree of knowledge, which is the knowledge of evil, good and evil, and they knew sin. And then he said, well, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten? This is the Lord's. Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from? So God is speaking to Adam, and he said, then how do you know you're naked? Now you know, you're aware of now. You have an awareness. The man said, which was referring to, remember, man's a pronoun, referring to Adam. He said, the woman you put here with me, she gave me the fruit from the tree and I ate it. Then the Lord said to the woman, now the woman in this case refers to the one who ate from the tree, and that's Eve. What is this you have done? The woman said, the serpent deceived me and I ate. Remember, she was deceived, the first woman, which was Eve, of all creation. So the Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. He's referring to Satan. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So, he said, God will put enmity between you, the Satan, and the woman. Well, Eve just got deceived. Now, all nations after Eve and Adam have been cursed, right? Except for a few, maybe they were blessed. But most of them fell into sin and perdition. They were tricked by Satan, and Satan kind of deceived many thereafter. But God is foreshadowing the future. He said, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring, and he will crush your head. He's going to win over your head. He'll crush your head, Satan, but you will strike his heel. Between your offspring, it's between his offspring, which is the evil people, the damned, the people of the damned, and hers, which is the people of the church. So there is. Now, who are the people of the church? The offspring comes from. Remember, the offspring was first Eve. Was her offspring. He's referring to her offspring. But he will crush your head. He's referring to Jesus, the Son of God. He will crush your head, Satan. It didn't happen at that moment. We're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe millions, whenever this happened, millions of years ago. Forward, he's talking about this will eventually happen. So Satan heard this. And he said, oh, okay. So there's a woman that's going to be enmity with him. He was always looking for that woman and wanted to make sure that woman would not prevail with her son over him. So let's go back into Revelations. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. Clothed with the sun. She's bright and glorious woman. With the moon under her feet. She's above the moon. And on her head a garland of 12 stars. There's a crown of stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in give pain to birth. She gave a child. Who is this child, you ask? This woman has a child. Another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon. Oh, that's the devil. Having 7 horns and 7 diadems on the head. His tail drew a third of stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. So remember, Satan already knew there was a woman that's going to be enmity with him. He wanted to prowl against this. So you see how this all connects? The future. God knows. God has already set this up. The storyline has already been set up since the beginning of time and all the future. It was predestined for all this to happen. So he was ready to give birth. He was ready to give birth she was ready to devour her child, so she bore a male child to rule all nations. She bore Jesus, who rules all nations, with a rod of iron. and her child was caught up to the God in his throne. He went to heaven. That's where God's throne. Then the woman fled into wilderness, where she was prepared for God, that they should feed her 1,260 days. And war broke out in heaven. Michael's angels fought with the dragon, but they did not prevail. So the great dragon was cast out. So the devil. So basically, the devil has tried. And remember, it says in Genesis, Satan will go back, will nick at the heel of the sun. Remember, and it says here in Revelations that will happen. He says, so the great dragon was cast out. He says he fought. Michael and the angels fought with the dragon. He tried to make war with Christ, but not prevail. He did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So he's casted out. And they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of the testament. They did not love their lives to the death. Therefore rejoice in heavens. So basically, it's already been for you. Cannot change it. Man with their wars cannot change anything of this, what's going to happen. Satan was worried. He knew he was going to lose, but he tried to make all men fall into sin. Why? To get an army against God's angels. And he knows he's going to lose, but and not only that, he hates mankind. Okay? He will never win. So glory to God for revelations and for Jesus establishing who the woman is, connecting the Genesis message with Revelations, that it all refers to Mary, which was crowned in heaven, and Jesus himself, who's the one who conquered Satan and threw him in the mouth with the angels. So this is, to me, something that's the Catholic teachings are. This is what the Catholic Church teaches. If anyone says that that message is not that Mary was not coronated, that does not come from the Catholic Church. Other churches, there's only one holy Catholic Apostolic Church, and those come from the Holy Church, the correct interpretations of the Bible. The other churches say, no, she was not crowned in heaven. Oh, she was not immaculate. She was in sin. Okay, so those are not teachings from the Holy Church. I'm just telling you this. I'm only inheriting their interpretations, and I'm passing this to you. And I just gave you the 3 verses that connect with each other, so that you come to believe that Mary has a higher seat than, of course, you and me, way higher seat in the throne of God next to Jesus. God loved her so much. He gave her all the blessings, almost everything he had. He gave her these special gifts, many gifts. There's so many that you don't even know about. You don't even have a number of them. But let me tell you, she was crowned in glory, because Jesus loves her own mother so much, and we should love our mothers just as much. Almost, we should love our parents. We should love. It just makes me think we should appreciate our parents too. We come from good seed. We should appreciate them. We should not only honor Mary for saying yes to defeat Satan. She was the one, the chosen one, that God came, the highly favored, blessed among all women. Just acknowledge these things. Yes, Jesus is higher. He came. That's God incarnate. He came down as human, but she bore him. What a privilege that is. Of all the humans, she was the one that bore that son, that holy gift. How does such a woman be chosen for that? Must be a righteous woman. Good woman. Some woman we should esteem and acknowledge as, wow, what a privilege that is. So that's just my sharing of the Catholic faith, and I just want you to know that Catholics and anyone non-Catholic that believes in the sanctity and the coronation of Mary, glory be to God. because to us, it is a glorious moment in heaven. We wanted the defeat of Satan, and we're glad that the woman prevailed and did what she was supposed to. She obeyed God to the fullest. She's the new Eve, and Jesus is the new Adam, and we are their offspring. Glory to be to God.